Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. If you're in the USA, happy Thanksgiving. And as is so common on Thanksgiving, a tradition begun at ClassicsToday.com, and which I'm continuing over here this year, Thanksgiving turkeys. For those of you who are not native English speakers, a turkey is slang for a dud, a bomb, a piece of garbage, something that's just a joke, ridiculous, awful, terrible. And so, in this gala Thanksgiving turkey recap, I've got five box sets that we've talked about previously, but I just think it's worth mentioning on this gala day of celebration. 5 wretched boxes for you to avoid, or if you are really having a bad time on Thanksgiving, like all the awful family members are over, and you think you could cheer yourself up by listening to some really crappy performances or make their lives miserable by playing them, well, here they are. Your ship has come home. So, I've got 2 Mahler cycles in this pile too. Wow, it's exciting. It really is. So let's start with one of the Mahler cycles. This one is really particularly wretched. It's the Maazel Philharmonia Mahler cycle on Signum. Now, this was, there's this strange thing in classical music where people who play music badly have a compulsion to keep recording it. And Maazel did 3 Mahler cycles, believe it or not, at least. There was the hit and miss normal one on Sony, which had some good performances. I mean, the 4 with Kathleen Battle was glorious. The rest of it, 5 and 6 were okay too. The rest, nah, not so much. And then he did a live one for the New York Philharmonic sort of streaming service label. I wonder what's going to happen to those orchestras that did their own streaming things and just stuffed them on a website. I mean, it's not like they promote anything that they do, is it? Well, doesn't matter. It's Maazel's Mahler. And then late in his career, when he started getting slower and slower and slower, he did this Mahler cycle, which takes about 9 years to get through with the Philharmonia. It is absolutely grotesque. I mean, I don't need to go into the gory details, except for let's just talk about the Third Symphony, which usually lasts about an hour and 40 minutes anyway. Normally, you've got a 37-minute first movement, a 25-minute finale. Oh my God, 68 plus 37. So 68 plus 37 equals what? It's 105, right? Yes, 60 is 98 plus, yeah, about 105, 106, 107 minutes. Oh, kill me now. Oh, it's absolutely vile. But they're all bad. They're all dragged out and stretched out and horrid. But, we'll come back to Mahler in a moment. Next, we have, oh, yes, a set that's near and dear to my heart for badness, the Celibidache Sacred Music and Opera Box. Now, Celibidache, among his other charming qualities of just cosmic arrogance and grotesquerie, couldn't give a damn about what the human voice could or could not do. Now, Bach didn't care either. But then again, Bach was Bach. After all, I mean, he didn't care what anybody could do. He just wrote music. And it was great music, so you adapt. Celibidache's a little bit different. Celibidache just wanted to do what he wanted to do because he wanted to do it. He didn't care if anybody could do what he wanted to do because he wanted to do it. So he did it. And here is the result. You have the Bach B minor Mass, Mozart's Requiem at 68 minutes. Oh, the Verdi Requiem at 104 minutes. Brahms' German Requiem, 84 minutes. I mean, yeah, okay. Requiems by Fauré, the Stravinsky Symphony of Psalms, Italian opera overtures. Oh, my God. And then overtures by Berlioz, Mendelssohn, Schubert, Strauss, and Smetana's The Moldau. and more overtures by Weber, and Wagner's Good Friday music from Parsifal, the Prelude and Liebestod from Tristan and Isolde, and then a whole other Wagner thing. And oh my God, it's the vocal stuff. The orchestral stuff, some of it has its interesting moments. It does. I grant that. But the vocal stuff, oh, the poor chorus. Listen to them being flayed and tortured and driven to extremes of unpleasantness and lack of breath. Let's not forget. It's absolutely horrendous. I mean, the idea that sacred music gets more spiritual the slower it goes is only true to the extent that the performers in question can sustain the tempi. And when they don't, well, I would say that the transcendental and spiritual aspects tend to suffer. They really do. I mean, they definitely suffer. Then we have the Bonanza box here in this particular pile of turkeys. Wait a minute. Let me grab it here. Oh, yes. The Roger Norrington Worthless Dreck edition. Remember that? Yeah, here it is. It's the complete Erato recordings. Never mind the fact that he never recorded anything for Erato, ever, in his career. No, these were all EMI recordings back in the days when EMI existed and didn't become part of Warner, and now they've all been shoved onto Erato. This is his legacy with the London Classical Players. And oh, what a legacy it is. You get bad Beethoven, bad Berlioz, bad Mendelssohn, bad Bruckner, bad Wagner, really bad Wagner. Oh my God, excruciatingly bad Wagner, bad Brahms. Let's see, what else do we got? Bad Haydn, really bad Haydn, bad Mozart, bad Weber, poor Weber. Let's see, bad Rossini, bad Schubert. I mean, it just never ends. As well as a complete Don Giovanni and Magic Flute, a bad Mavlast. Oh my God, is that horrid? Yes, Worthless Dreck on parade. Yes, there it is, parading across your viewing screen, or if you're in a PDF, you can close your eyes and imagine Worthless Dreck on parade. It's quite special. It really is, and this is just, I mean, these are things I've saved just because, you know, if you have guests over and you want to, you know, horrify them or at least have a good laugh sometimes, you can play them. Well, let's go back to Mahler a bit, shall we? Yes. Speaking of Worthless Dreck, the Feton of Mahler box, of which I've spoken on several occasions, this is just a complete disaster. And it has one good movement, actually. I wouldn't call it good. I would call it interesting. It's the Rondo Burlesque in the Ninth Symphony, which he takes at an insane tempo, sort of like the second movement of Shostakovich's 10th. And it kind of works. And it sounds like the second movement of Shostakovich's 10th at that tempo. It's really kind of amazing. But the rest of this, oh, the horrible playing, the mistakes from the brass and other instruments, the crappy recorded sound, it's dim and ill-focused. There's not a good performance in here. There really isn't. It's unspeakably bad. And another thing worth keeping for your friends and loved ones on Thanksgiving. There's nothing like a really horrible performance of Mahler's Seventh to get rid of your guests. You know, when you're ready to go home, plonk it on. You'll clear out the room. It's amazing. However, there I have saved the best for last. It's not a big box, but I keep it right here in my shelf, so it's always at my fingertips. The most horrible, misguided, ill-conceived, atrociously rendered Beethoven piano concerto cycle ever on period instruments. It's what's this guy's name? You know, Arthur Schunderverd. Yes, Arthur Schunderverd and Cristofori with one instrument to a part. On the Beethoven piano concertos, it's played in what sounds like the bathroom at Grand Central Station. And trust me, I've been to the bathroom at Grand Central Station. Both the sound and the stench are admirably reproduced in this totally psychotic performance or version or cycle of Beethoven piano concertos. I mean, what could they possibly have been thinking? It's a joke that's beyond jokey. It has nothing to do with period instruments, although his historically informed xylophone sounds rather charming in two notes or two. No, seriously, why would they do this? It's only the period instrument movement that gives these people cover to get away with stupidities like this. I mean, that's really what it is, because, we didn't need period instruments for someone to say, I'm going to take a piano and a string quartet and everything else and play everything one person to a part, and that's what it's going to be. I mean, Joshua Rifkin did it with like the B minor mass, right? With one person to a part. You could do it. You could always do it. We just didn't. We didn't because it was wrong, and because there was nothing to be gained from the experience, nothing musically significant. But here, with bad sounding period instruments and the period instrument movement, which is, well, he played these things when there were very few people around, or people played them in their homes as best they could. So I'm going to reproduce the absolutely awful circumstances myself and do it just as badly as they did. And he does. And that, I guess, is an accomplishment of sorts. So anyway, I just thought that we could have a little fun today, and I could give you a break from whatever else you might be doing, and you can enjoy at least thinking about these Thanksgiving turkeys, if not actually listening to them. So keep on listening, friends. Gobble, gobble.